everybody. I'm so happy to see you guys here. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. All right. Yes, for those of you who are watching, thank you so much. So that you came to this event, I'm so happy. We are in New City is where we are now at the New City Bowl, which is actually not a bowling alley that was hammered horribly during the COVID lockdown. So many businesses were hammered during the COVID lockdowns. If you guys are in the New City area, please do me a favor. If you like bowling, come on down and bowl. If you don't like bowling, come on down anyway and get something to eat. There's a place to eat here too. Enjoy. Give them some local business if you can. The New City Bowl here in New City. Why am I running around this state? Why am I doing this again? Yes, this is the fourth full Sharpe. I haven't stopped. I'm doing it all over again. I don't stop. The reason is because I love this state. This is a great state with a bad government. That's the reality. Most people who live in this state love this state. It's diverse, it's fun, it's exciting, cool stuff in it. It's beautiful. And we have a government that is literally crushing people. The amount of people who I've seen lose their family members, pack up and leave. This state is so oppressive, it literally breaks up families. That's a real thing. Every time I go to one of these events, everyone out there knows somebody who's left New York. It's everywhere. It's all the time, and they're thinking about it. So how do we change it? Well, we do something about it. We show up and we do something about it. And one person who's doing something about it right now is a gentleman who is actually running for Alderman in Middletown. You might have seen him in my earlier live. He's back again to take some more questions and tell his story about why he's trying to do this and how he feels. The man himself, Juan Ayala.
Hello, my name is Juan Ayala. I'm from the city of Middletown. I'm currently running for Alderman, the 4th Ward. And let me just follow up with Larry and explain why I'm running for office. I've been in the city of Middletown for almost my entire life. I got there when I was 4 years old. I graduated class of '88, Middletown High School. I even graduated from local college there. I'm an IT professional for over 30 years. And the reason I'm really doing this is really when I started seeing my families, my friends,
yes,
Florida,
yes,
from North Carolina, Tennessee, and it's a shock because now, because they're my family, they're my friends, I go visit them, and I go visit, for example, one of my friends in Calabash, North Carolina, city that's bigger, almost twice the size of the population of Middletown, and I see he's getting taxed half the rate, the roads are paved, and everything's getting done right. So then when I started investigating, trying to contact my alderman to say, what's happening, I get no response.
yes.
And I found out that basically, well, they have a mayor there, it's Democrat, all the aldermen are Democrat. They don't have to really answer to the public. In fact, recently they had a local law passed, local law number 1 passed, which allows them to opt out of establishing cannabis dispensaries and cafes. And most of these common council meetings are about 30 minutes. This one was over 2.5 hours because the room was packed with residents telling them this is the right thing to do. It would bring in tons of revenue to the city. It would help the brown and black communities. And basically, what did the council do? Basically, the mayor in the next council meeting basically said, a couple of libertarians showed up. Who do you listen to? You listen to us. Basically meaning he dismissed me, a local resident, and every resident that stood up took their free time to come down there and tell them not to vote for this law. And he did it anyway. That's why I'm running here, because I think this is a great state. I love Howard County. New York is a great wonder. There's tons of hiking, canoeing. I'm an hour away from the city, and we're losing. We're losing it because the government, local, state, just doesn't care about the residents anymore. They don't care about the people who live here anymore. And they need to start listening to us. This is a very new experience for me, but I hope that, that you start going out there, start voting libertarian, and start having your voice heard.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much. Those of you more interested in what Juan is talking about, please head on over to juan4middletown.com. See what he's doing over there. If you like what he's doing, I have an idea. Head on over there and help him out. He could use, if you're in his area, he could use some help. He could use some volunteers. If he has some extra cash, he'd love that too. So I brought Juan because I wanted people to see that it's not just me out there doing stuff. And some of you think it's just me, but it's not just me. There are so many people doing things in this state, so many different problems and issues. And some of you saw that I was actually at the New York State Fair these last couple of days. And I was. And as I walked around talking to people, a couple things happened that were great. The first thing was lots of people recognized me. So that was good. That was very positive, very happy about that. Lots of people said, oh, I remember you. Oh, Larry Sharpe. Oh, yeah. I actually had one person walk up and go, you look familiar. And I said, yeah, I ran for governor in 2018. And she said, Sharpe, right? I went, yes, absolutely. So she remembered the name. So that's cool. It was happening. I was actually crossing the street, heading over to a gas station to grab my ride to get back to my hotel that night. And the state trooper who was kind of crossing people said, hey, I know you. I said, yeah, I'm Larry Sharpe. He goes, oh, yeah, you ran for governor, didn't you? Oh, my God, yeah, right there, boom. And now we're having selfies. So it was really a good time. Lots of people recognized me. But there was a second thing that was not so cool. Lots of people who were no longer New Yorkers, but they came back for the fair because they remembered how much they liked New York. They remembered the good parts of New York, not have to stay. So they would come back to meet family, come back to see friends, come back to see people and go off to the fair. So I'd see 8 people together, 4 New Yorkers, 4 visiting. That's what I saw. A lot of people who've left the state who said, I can't take it anymore. Some of them have voted for me. And when I voted for you, Larry Sharpe, awesome. Where are you now? Tennessee? I saw some of that too. So it was good. And it wasn't so good. But here's what I'm going to say. If you're leaving New York State, I get it. I'd rather you not. I'm not yet at all. I think it's repairable. Juan thinks it's repairable. I think it's repairable. Those of you who came today, I want to give you an opportunity to do something that many of them said also, which was, I can't believe you showed up, Larry Sharpe. No one else shows up. I can't believe you'd answer my questions. No one else does. And at the state fair, you know how many people were there from 2018? Only me. Everyone else who ran in 2018 is gone. I'm the only one still here. I'm the only one working every single year. I'm the only one wanting to fix this state. It's only me. Everyone else is gone. And they noticed that. But then they said, Larry, I just asked you a question. You actually gave me an answer. I said, I know. Because I give you answers. You can actually talk to me. And people think about it. You notice when people see other politicians, they usually call them by their last name. Right? Not me. Say, hey, it's Larry. Because I'm approachable. So with that in mind, guys, thank you so much for coming. Please, any questions or comments? Anybody have a question? Please go ahead.
What are the taxes in New York? Why do you feel that people are leaving and not being forced out?
The biggest tax in New York, there are many of them, man, there are many of them. But the one I heard people complain about the most, hands down, was property tax. That was the one they talked about the most of all the taxes. And there were many problems with taxes. That wasn't the only one. But if there were 10 problems, 7 were property tax, 3 was something else. So I talked about that. And I said, could you imagine for a moment, if instead of having to pay what you pay now, change one important thing, change school tax. Have school tax come directly from the state. Right from the state, goes right to the districts, cuts out the middleman, right to the districts. Each district gets the amount of money per kid. So for example, X number of kids times say $18,000, that's what you get. There's your money directly from the state. You might say $18,000, it's a lot of money, Larry Sharpe. It is, but we can only spend $28,000. So a whole lot less than we're spending already. But more importantly, if it comes directly from the state, if it does that, then we don't say, if you don't spend it, you don't get it next year, which is how it works now. We have a system right now in our school system where if you don't spend it, you don't get it next year. So they spend everything. They'll literally have, closets full of equipment. They'll buy more to end the money to spend. Now remember, those of you military, you vets out there, you remember this. Around October-ish, everyone's going to the range. Why? To fire off all the rounds. We used to fire machine gun rounds all day long, all firing. Because if you don't use it, you don't get it next year. So you waste it all. It's an environment of waste. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. I used to work in armory. At the end of the year, we had dollars to spend for repair and such. So we got guys outside breaking equipment. So you don't break the equipment, there's no repair funds. So literally we're breaking equipment just to make sure that we had enough money for next year. Total waste. That's our current system. Imagine if they didn't spend it, they get to keep it. Imagine if there's nobody to ask for grants from the federal or state government. All the administrators go away. Administrators that get paid double what our teachers get paid. Not, yes, thank you. Double what our teachers get paid. Imagine they all of a sudden go away. Every administrator you get rid of, you can hire another teacher, give teachers raises, put money into school, whatever you like. Know what you're saying? Know what you're saying, Larry? Sounds great, Larry. That sounds amazing. It does sound amazing because here's the best part of the whole thing. If you don't have to pay school tax anymore, your property tax will be cut by about half. Depending on where you live in New York State, but about half. Imagine if your property tax is cut in half. Many people would stay. People wouldn't leave. People might come back in. But not just that. What if you're a renter? Rents stabilize or even drop. It's a miracle, Larry. Why doesn't everybody do it? Because of the number one question. Where does that money come from the state? Where does that money come from? Do I just magically make it? I don't have a New York State Fed. We don't have a Federal Reserve. We can't just magically make money. But imagine if instead we thought of some very smart way, like the people in, say, Arizona, or Alaska, or the people of Norway or Singapore, and we created an actual New York State sovereign fund. And maybe we made it from, say, I don't know, 3 nuclear power plants in the North Country, and then sold the energy and took that money and put it into a fund and paid for education. That's what they do in other countries. Yes, it is. You are Norwegian. Exactly right. That's what they do. Exactly correct. Norwegian sovereign fund. They do it. Alaska does it too. They also have a sovereign fund. Why can't we create that? Or even lease out some of our infrastructure, lease out some of our state lands, so we can pay for our education without taxation. Imagine paying for something in New York State without taxation. You make that change and you will watch everything begin to change. And on top of that, you go that route, now wherever your student goes, that's where the money goes. The money follows the student. You can actually have the money follow the student. Did I answer your question at least?
Yes, you did.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Go, please.
So in the past year and a half,
Yeah.
we've seen some shocking violations of our constitutional rights that even an old cynic like me finds shocking.
Yep.
You have vaccine mandates, you
Yep.
have vaccine passports.
Yep.
Businesses were deemed non-essential and forced to close.
Yep.
Churches couldn't hold services, in some cases even outdoors,
Yep.
let alone indoors, and on and on and on.
Yes.
Now, if you were governor, I have every confidence that you wouldn't enact any BS like that. But what I'd like to know is, what would you do to get us out of all that garbage?
Yes. The best way of doing this, which is what I would have enacted literally a year and a half ago, is to simply say, we're going to change government mandates into government guidelines. We're going to do. So now the government believes that you should do A, B, and C to be a government okay building, government okay facility, government okay retail establishment. Here are the guidelines. Here they are. I'm also going to allow others to do so. We have it already. It's called the wellness something or other. There's another organization that has their own guidelines. I put my guidelines down, allow their guidelines to go down, and even a third, allow them to have guidelines. Then I send out my inspectors. And my inspectors, when you don't follow the New York State guidelines, they don't punish you. They don't fine you. They simply don't give you a stamp. That's it. If you follow the guidelines, you get a stamp. If you don't follow the guidelines, you don't get a stamp, right? That's it. Now the community decides, do I care about the guidelines or not? If the community says, no, I'm not going in unless they have government guidelines, then the community decides whether you stay open or not. Not me. Your community decides. If the community says, no, I don't care about the government, I care about the well safety, I care about the well safety guidelines, then you should do that. You should follow your community. Your community decides how you can open or not. But what I do is I say, I as a government have no right to shut you down, period. So therefore you are allowed to be open immediately. Here are my guidelines. My inspectors come out. They will give you a checkbox or not. and then let the community decide. I don't have a problem with the community shutting you down. That's your community. I have a problem with me shutting you down. I don't have a problem with the consumer deciding they feel unsafe with you. I'm fine with that. I have a problem with me shutting you down. So you immediately open up. With those 3 guidelines, go. But here's the best part. I always ask the same thing. What I demand is 2 things. Transparency, so we know what's happening in every county, so we can show people. People who are following these guidelines, things are going well, things aren't going well. People aren't, things are going well, things aren't going well. So we can see what's happening in every community. And second, no fraud. No fraud. If you did not get your stamp and you put a fake stamp, you get hammered. You get hammered, whether it's a government stamp or not. If you burn a stamp that you did not get, you get hammered. Because fraud is wrong. You should not defraud the community at all, ever. That's unacceptable. You don't want any of them? Put none of them on. Up to you. The community decides. I'd open this up right away with those rules. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Guys, we're gonna wrap this up. I want to say thank you so much for coming, all you guys. Thank you for everybody there. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, guys.